Mm. You're okay. So, April 20th, 2024, Chicago, Illinois. If you're listening right now and can get to Chicago, I'm going to need you to register for that PTO right now. Let your partners know that you will be meeting Sharpie, Tarek, Tom Baum, Lando, and I in person, live and lit. Confirmed a lovely spot to have a special watch party event for Manchester City versus Tottenham. Seats 55 people. It's going to be real nice. Has its own parking lot in Chicago. What? Okay. You know me, though. I couldn't just leave it at a simple show up and watch the match. Before our watch party begins, I've we've whipped up a one of a kind culinary foodie footy experience. I have connected with one of my favorite chefs in the area to help us host a three-course English breakfast themed meal. Don't have to be a supporter of City to purchase a ticket. Just have to be there before they all sell out. I haven't even told my showgirls about this part, actually. They're finding out at the same time you guys are. More information will be released later. Please stay attuned, attention to our socials, turn those notifications on because it will be just 30 tickets for this breakfast. So it's first come, first serve. The watch party after will be vibes on vibes on vibes. Tickets for everything go on sale December 1st. You know the vibes. Oh, go for it. Because this
Does
is
this
quick.
mean we're gonna have to eat beans on toast? Because that don't really fit with my palate. You know, I'm more of a bacon and eggs, waffles, and pancakes type dude.
So I am working. I meet with the chef tomorrow to go over the menu. We're gonna see what we can do. We're gonna try to hold as true to the English breakfast as possible, but also I'm black. So, like, there's that. So, yeah. So don't worry, it's not gonna be some like bland ass shit. Like, come on now, it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be exquisite. I'm legitimately excited with how everything is kind of falling into place.
I hate the most is when you don't want the ball. I hate it. You have permission to make a mistake. You have permission to lose. You have permission.
And that's when we get big.
Yeah, I'm a genius.
Attack everyone and send everyone.
I think we're forgetting the most important thing. We're forgetting about focusing just on ourselves.
But we can do better. We need to take the next step, and there's no better place than taking the next step here.
Show ourselves out there how much we want to win it again.
We win 4 of the last 5 Premier League, guys. 4 of the last 5 Premier League. Are we gonna do it again?
Don't ask me again about doubles, triples, quadruples, fifth-tuples, six-tuples, and seven-tuples. So
Don't do it. Hey, and welcome to episode 75 of Shades of Blue.
A lot of niggas debating my numero, not the 3, not the 2 on the UNO.
We are the most comprehensive Manchester City podcast covering both the men's and women's game, spanning from the Atlantic Ocean to the Rocky Mountains. We're making art over here. Capitalize the A. I'm with Tom Baum, Tarek, and Sharpie. How's it going, my show bros?
Going good, man. Glad to be back.
75? That's a lot. That's impressive. Dang.
Right? Yeah.
Just my body clock is very confused. Like this
Oh yeah,
daylight
this thing is
savings
kicking
time
my
is
butt.
just eating me right on up. So yeah, that's how as I'm just very tired.
I'm with you on that.
Well, I appreciate you. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's been a good chill weekend. Just preparing for the holiday crazies. It's interesting how one I'll go into some restaurants there'll be Christmas music, and then there'll be like some kind of Christmas stuff, and I hear people talking about it. How are you guys about on this whole subject? Are you is not Christmas until after Thanksgiving?
I mean, that's like so. Thanksgiving to me is like a far like more important like family holiday, I think, than Christmas
Facts.
is. So to me, like um I think I've gotten to a point where it's like I know that it's going to happen, but like that doesn't mean that I necessarily have to focus on it.
Yeah, I would definitely say Thanksgiving greater than Christmas, for the family time. But the best part about Christmas is like I'm a teacher, so we're always off. Like that whole time, like you're in winter break, and so it's a very relaxing time where Thanksgiving is so short. It's like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, go back to work. But yeah, so I enjoy the peace of things of Christmas break, but Thanksgiving the day is definitely that time.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people, and I have some people in my family that are, that are rushing to get the Christmas lights up and the decorations done and all this stuff. You know, the wife has got the deck ready to go to put the lights up, but she's not done her stuff yet. But I've got other people that as soon as November 1st hit, they want to put the Christmas tree up, which that's whatever. As long as you don't rush me through my Thanksgiving dinner, I'm okay because I got to get my food in because I like to eat, which is why I asked about what we going to be having for this little breakfast thing because I admit I'm a little bit greedy like that. So I'm all for put up whatever you want to do whatever you want to do. But we got to make that pit stop at Thanksgiving first before we get to Christmas. So it's all good for me.
All right. Well, before we get into anything else, what I need you to do right now, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up for us, show some love, leave a comment on what you thought of the episode. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, any podcast streaming service that allows you to rate, we need that 5-star rating immediately, please and thank you. Oh, also, shout out to Good Pods. We're the number one indie football podcast on that
Very
app,
dope.
so that's
Thank
that's
you.
pretty cool. So shout out to people on Good Pods, showing us the love, giving us listening to us up through there. I love it. Rate review. If you give us a review, oh, speaking of, there actually are a couple of reviews. Actually, I think there's just one. I cheated and I had one. Just wanted to boost it. But here's one from L.A. Midima, and it's Shady Gang with a salute emoji. Shout out. A Man City podcast like no other brings real, unique perspectives that, with an emphasis on the culture that is being a supporter of the treble winners. The only City podcast I know that does comprehensive coverage of both the women and the men's team. You like stats? Got 'em. You like banter? Crunk got you. Yeah, dude. You like conversational breakdown and previews of the games? All day. Give them a follow and enjoy. So shout out to you for that.
Most
Appreciate the
dope.
love.
So
Most
kind.
dope.
So kind. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely
Hold on.
very appreciative.
I think there's some like weird animal outside dying, so let me close my window. I don't know what's going on out there. Mute.
Since Crunk is gone, I want to take this time to shout out MLS side Sporting Kansas City for their victory over St. Louis City in the Western Conference playoffs. Mainly, I'm just saying that because anytime that I get a chance to, one, put on for my city, and two, shit on the city of St. Louis, I have to take that opportunity to do so. So, shout out to Sporting Kansas City. Congrats. I appreciate everything that you've done this season, and let's go on to the next round.
That's one of the dope things
Let's
about this show is that
go.
knowing y'all for so long now,
Absolutely.
like knowing each other's like non-city sports teams. It's like I saw that post and I was like, I instantly mentioned Tom. Like, oh my gosh, 8 seed upset of 1 seed. Like that's dope. Like happy. We love joy.
Yeah. We had to win they had to win a penalty shootout to get the 8 seed.
I was gonna say they struggled at the very beginning of the year. It was almost like they weren't even gonna make it to
Didn't
the
the manager
playoffs.
get
So the
fired?
fact that
Oh, I did.
they're like,
Oh
they
no,
can't get rid of
like
Vermees.
that. Peter Vermees is like no, he's like the one of the 5 most
Oh, okay,
tenured
okay. That was a different
managers
story.
in all of football, all
Got
over
you.
the world.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
As much as I there have been times where I have called for his firing, but but he also controls uh player personnel and he's the manager, so sometimes there's oh, is this Peter Vermees the manager? Is this Peter Vermees the technical director?
This Thursday, join us for our lit stream where our guest this week will be Saul for his monthly bitter and blue visit. Sky, who joined us for the Manchester Derby watch party, she will be our second guest. And our third guest is a most dope member of Shady Gang, Brad
Okay,
Baker.
Brad.
Side note, if you are a part of Shady Gang, you're listening and you're like, man, it'd be really cool if I could be on this stream. DM us, comment, say something, let us know. Truly, we it, we have to book super far in advance anyway. Like, no joke, we're booked through the year. So if you were to come on, you'd have months to prepare yourself mentally. Shout out to Adam. If Adam can do it, and he's a giant little ball of nerves, anybody can do it. Like, I love him so much. He was just so nervous and he was
Wait,
fantastic.
Crump, we gotta take a pause real quick because we kind of slid past the fact that you've already set up 2 different events in Chicago, like not just a watch party, but the brunch breakfast situation. You got everything booked out. My man's making graphics. All I'm saying is, y'all, Crunk Chocolate is a producing legend. This man makes things happen. Changing logos. Like I just named 7 things you've done in the past, in secret. It's just wild. Like every time I talk to you, it's like something else is popping off. And it's like, damn, bro. So I just want to give you that
Hardest
shine.
working,
You
hardest
deserve it,
working
man.
man in sports
Appreciate that.
content.
Yes.
Out here.
Appreciate that. Well, I'm kind of the old school person where I believe in a Rolex. So if we're gonna change this logo, it needs to be for a reason. It needs to lead to something. And this event isn't the only thing it leads to, guys. So there's just no, as long as everything keeps going the way that it keeps going, beautiful things are coming for us. So yeah, I appreciate you guys too. That's half the reason why. Like I said, I work hard because you guys kill it. I am a tentative person at heart, but if I'm willing to believe in myself, especially if I got people around me who give me the confidence to believe in myself. So thank you. I truly can't do any of this stuff if you guys weren't the people you are. So thanks. Uh, yeah, let's stream. And then November 12th, City Men and Women both play. So you know what that means. FanFest Live double play, baby. The Baby Blue Baddies, they kick off 6 a.m. That's a half hour before the match. 6 a.m. is the earliest we will ever do anything. That seems to be the earliest the match will ever be. So 6 a.m. That's a half hour. It's not an hour like we do for the men's, but a half hour. I'm not waking up any earlier than that. It's, you guys put it.
It's so early, y'all. It's
It's
so
so early,
early.
especially for a town bomb.
So can I
Man,
just
shout
say
out to
this?
you.
So, yesterday we were headed out of town for basketball, and I had to drop my kid off at the school at 5:15 in the morning. And all I could think about is those poor souls west of me who have to get up for those early morning PL kickoffs, the WSL kickoffs. I was like, oh my God, these poor people. I felt bad for you, man. I was like, oh, I can't do this. By the time we got back home, I was dead to the world. I was like, oh, I cannot. Like 5:15 was ridiculous. It's ridiculous that early in the morning.
Yeah, no gracias. I like my
Man, give
middle
me
of
8 o'clock
the
or later.
But you know what though? That college football, football on the West Coast though is perfect because like you still have all of your night.
That is true.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I miss the hours of being on the West Coast. Like I miss being able to know sports go off at 10 o'clock. Like there are no more sports after 10 ever. If you watch a sport after 10, you watching something in Hawaii. So like, yeah, and I'm a morning person, so waking up to soccer always on at like 4:30 was always dope for me because I always had something to watch on the weekend. Whereas now I'm sitting here like twiddling my thumbs, like looking around like John Travolta, like what's going on? I don't have any sports. I don't know what to do. It's terrible.
Uh, well, people, come and enjoy sports with us because for the Chelsea match, that is a watch along actually. That is this month. I feel like we're doing so many now. It's hard to keep up. The one we did today for the Arsenal women was thrown together. Shout out to DT and Trev.
Yes, shout out to them,
They
definitely.
are, and we'll get to it. Congratulations to them. But yeah, we just like always have amazing fan fest live shows for you all people. All that stuff is in the show descriptions.
Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel a chemistry.
Tom Bomb, what are those baby blue baddies doing to him?
Um, what did y'all say on the watch along? Is like, Tom, are you all right? Just heavy puffing over there, just ASMR. Yeah, that's what they're doing to us right now. Again, shout out, thank you so much to both Deepti and Treb for reaching out to us so we could do this watch along. I think this was a great match to do it for, even if it was very, very early in the morning. It would because it is a big match, and it did it was just rough to watch in some places. I guess we'll start off with the lineups. We started with Keating in goal. Please remember that I know that all of our UK listeners are definitely going to remember that Alex Greenwood is out of this match with a concussion that she suffered on international duty. So she was out. So we started Keating in goal, a back line of Layla Wahhabi, Laya Alexandri, Alana Kennedy, Esme Morgan. In the midfield, it appeared that we had Jill Roord and Yui Hasagawa, and then we just had seemed like in some places 4 forwards with Mary Fowler, Chloe Kelly, Lauren Hemp, and Bunny Shaw up top. We talked about it on the pre-match show. It really looked like City was just going to go for the hammer on it. Kind of bummed out that they did not score in the first half. I can break this match down very succinctly. Kiara Keating had 3 mistakes. One, it happened in the 13th minute when she had a poor clearance, and it was probably the worst clearance or distribution that she had all season, and that basically led to the Catley goal because Catley was by herself in the box essentially. Like I think Treb said that she could like start a campfire, roast marshmallows, have s'mores, all of that. So that was in the 14th minute. And then I believe it was in the in the 20th minute, or in the 19th minute, she committed a foul on Chloe Lacasse in the box.
And if I can give her bail, Esme Morgan gave her a awful back pass.
Yes,
it was just like super
slow.
slow,
Yeah,
and and then Kier couldn't make a decision as to what to
yeah.
do.
So
But
she
yeah,
didn't.
she definitely
Yeah,
still fouled.
yeah.
Yeah. It was foul.
However, like that was like that mistake she was able to make up for because immediately when Kim Little stepped up to make take the penalty. She saved it off the post. Rebound went out of bounds. Everybody was really picking up on Keating. Um, Finally, like after City dominated possession, like and just the flow of the game, they were able to equalize through Chloe Kelly on a really nice assist through Bunny with her back to the goal. Um, and then the last mistake that Keating made was I I forget who played the pass at that point to Stina Blackstenius, and she misjudged it. She came out of her box. I don't think that she thought. I think she thought she was out of her, still inside of her box because she lifted up her hand too. She tried to head the ball. It missed. Blackstenius just was able to put it in the back of the net because there was no one there.
Yeah.
Um, that was in the 85th minute. City was not able to equalize. I do want to, before I get into this, I do want to say that there was a medical event and in the stands at Meadow Park. I'm not sure what happened. I hope that that person is okay. I know it did delay the
Yes.
match, but I'm not. Um, More important is that like I just hope that that person is okay. Um, it was really heartening to see at full time when the whistle blew when Kiera Keating basically just kind of fell to a heap on the pitch. Uh, the number of players who immediately came and supported her and came and picked her up. I know that like when you are a 19-year-old professional, there are going to be times that you make mistakes, and when you're a goalkeeper, those mistakes are just magnified. Um, but I still think that she played a better match than Manuela Zinsberger. I still think that she was the better keeper in that match, even if the score sheet doesn't necessarily say that. Just the way that she commanded her box, the way that um, she was able to stop a penalty, stop a couple of shots. Um, this loss is not on Kiera Keating. City had a lot of different chances to score. I think every one of the forward line had a shot that went wide, um, and you have to make the most of those chances. So that was disappointing to see. Um, I don't. This still puts City in second after all of the weekend's action. They're still on 10 points, but there is like a clump of teams at 10 points right now. One, two, three, four different teams: City, Spurs, Pool, and Arsenal, all stuck on 10. City's goal difference in the league is better at 7 than Spurs, so that's why they are in second. Which that is going to be interesting to see play out through the rest of the season. We are going to take a little pause from this is actually a really relatively busy week for the women. They do play in the midweek. They play Liverpool in the Conti Cup match. And then, like Crunk stated on Sunday, they will be playing Brighton at home at the Joy Stadium. It'll be nice to go back home. Um, Remember, Liverpool has all, even though they just beat Leicester City today in league play, they have already lost a match in the Conti Cup group for the Northeast. So this is going to be a big match for them. It will be interesting to see what kind of side that we put out. Um, Based off of when the subs were used, I could definitely see that Jess Park. I think the people that subbed on are probably going to start. So that means that Kirsten Kasperai, Julie Blackstad, um, Dana Castellanos, Jess Park, they'll probably all start in this match on Wednesday.
Yes. Tom Bomb dropped off. He will be back shortly. I want to actually go back to the match because I was kind of yes, Keanu Keating, unfortunate moment, kind of took a lot of the moment, but I really wanted to stay at our missed
Mm-hmm.
chances and specifically Bonnie. She was carrying our team for a lot of last season. And this season, she seems to still be wanting to do that hero ball, even though she has killers all around her. I don't know what it is or what's going on, but I just, it's unfortunate to me. There were multiple times from awful angles. Bunny, instead of playing into Jill Roard crushing, coming in and other players running in, she took the shot. And I saw a few people kind of questioning her minds, her decisions. We One of you guys even said it that you still can expect to see her hit another level. What do we do from there, Sharpie? What are you thinking about this whole
I
situation?
mean, it's a bad match, right? Like just like Kara Keating had a match to forget, so did Bunny on the other end. And I think she would tell you that, and if the manager's honest, he would say that too. Like it's not just one person that loses the football match, right? Because if we convert those, like Bunny had a header that was an open header. The pass, I believe, came from Chloe Kelly, and it was like across, like far post by herself in the air by herself, and she hit it off the post. And there was another header she did that or somebody else got that was like right off the post. So it's like you got to get those on target. That's your job. Um, and so, do I think it'll last forever? No, it's a bad match. I like that there's not too much time to fret on this. Like you got other things to worry about, like you're going for a trophy in the Conti Cup. Like you know you need that win, so you can put this behind you and move on tomorrow. But I mean, it was hard to watch. Just City being clinical, and I always think about how Tom says the teams play the same, the men and the women, and it's like I know those City matches where the men dominate possession and don't finish chances, and it's like what the fuck.
Yeah,
So that was very triggering to watch today because yeah, it was hard, it was very hard, but we'll be back, and all you can ask for is the growth.
Yeah.
I do think though from the match, I believe that Yui is being misused so far away from goal. Like I want, if we're gonna do a double pivot, put Angeldal back there and let Yui be a 10 and let her cook, or let her be an 8, right? And like go fully. I mean, she kind of does it, but like truly just start her closer to goal because that would free up money. That would help him. That would help Kelly, just to add a real creator in the same way we know like Dana can do it. That's what she does for Venezuela. You have the players, and so you can't really fault Gareth because we had all the possession, we had the chances. Players got to make chances, but I think that would have been a nice switch up.
You know what's also odd, Charlie? You were saying that that Bunny would probably admit that she would had a bad match. Fatma has her as the highest rated player in that match
no,
at an 8.2.
wow, huh,
Yeah, I was
huh.
like, what?
Interesting.
And I guess it's just because
Is featured
she
heavily.
created so many
Yeah.
XG as a striker, which yes, great. And I would
But
like
I've
my striker
seen
to
the
score
number.
goals.
That's interesting with analytics because I've seen strikers have similar games and get rated 5.9, 6.3, maybe a 7. So to not have a goal, did she had the assist though, right, for the Kelly goal? Was that her? No. Did Bunny assist Kelly or am I tripping? Tom, you remember?
No, I mean you probably
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like what
remember
she did to
this.
directly lead to a goal scoring action because that's usually how you get such a high rating.
Yeah,
But hey, the numbers don't lie, I guess. Oh, Tom Probst, that's why. But yeah, okay. So, we move. That's all we can do.
yeah. And so Conti Cup against Liverpool. They have is in the WSL. They've scored 6 goals and only allowed 4. It's going to be a very tough match. I do what Tom was saying before he left. Jess Park, Blackstad, Kasparai. That's a big Ruby Mace. That's a Mace match. I think Jess Park could eat in that match. They're gonna play tough and try to score off set pieces. I believe that's practically how Liverpool scores all their goals are off set pieces. So that's what we're gonna have to worry about is set pieces, and when will we get Greenwood back? I I would hope next weekend against Brighton.
Yeah, I would hope so too. The knock that she took for when she was playing for England did not look great. It was like, oh, like it was like immediately like, oh, she's gonna miss time. This sucks. Like it was you would have rather it happened in the first match that they played rather than the second match that they played. But it is what it is.
Yeah, and Garrett joked in the presser that Steph is already trying to get back on the pitch, but they're going to try to be mindful of the person in the situation. Anything else in Paisley Baddies?
Oh, um, it is it's related to women's footy, so like we should probably talk about it. Um, it was announced yesterday that Chelsea manager Emma Hayes will be taking over as the U.S. women's national team manager. She has stated that she will be staying at Chelsea through the end of the season. I'm not sure that Chelsea has decided on a replacement as of yet, or how that's going to work. Apparently, there are going to be some international windows where Emma is on the plane with Kat and Mia, which will be interesting. Um, but I don't think that you can deny that Emma Hayes is a fantastic talent evaluator, and she had and a very good tactician as well, and a good true manager of the players that she has. Um, what this means for the U.S. women's national team going forward, um, there's a lot of debate about that. Like, is this just punting on the Olympics in 2024? Because she's not going to be full time at the job until May. So, or yeah, after May, June. And it could very well be June, depending on what Chelsea's aspirations are as in Champions League. So they could end up being in the final. Um, uh, this is a really big move for the WSL because I'm not sure who now is the best manager. Like, I think it was pretty obvious, like when she was um, before this, she was the best manager in the WSL. With her departure, there's obviously been several different rumors. I've heard Laura Harvey, I've heard Casey Stoney, I've heard Carmen Moscato. Um, so there are a lot of names out there, um, but I think the biggest thing is that that will not necessarily impact Emma Hayes being at Chelsea through the duration of this season as it relates to Manchester City women.
And if I could add about this, I think the two biggest questions if you're a USWNT supporter are for me are is Alex Morgan going to be replaced by Lynn Williams as the starting number 9? And will Crystal Dunn finally be able to start in the midfield for her club, for her country, the way she's always done for Portland and other clubs in the NWFL? I think those two questions are huge. I hope that that was one of the selling points for, her in the for Emma in the interview process. Is like, hey, like I saw the World Cup, we saw the World Cup. These two players have played out of position. Imagine what we could be if we put them in their right places. Because that could give us a front three of just like Trinity Rodman and Sophia Smith on the wings and Lynn Williams as the 9. And oh my gosh, a midfield that has Crystal Dunn and Katarina Macario. Oh my God. The possibilities are endless. And my last point is that it would be kind of cool for me to think about like players leave club and go play for country. Emma's just doing the same thing. She's leaving her club on those breaks, flying over, working with a new group, and then we go back to, after 2 weeks or a week off, whatever, go back to where you got to go, back to England. So I think they obviously have the capacity to do both, and I don't see this as, I know Trev brought it up as like a possibility of like punting on the Olympics. I see it as like a reinvigoration because you're doing it so early. Now those players know like, okay, like when we go to our next camp, Emma's our manager. We don't have an interim anymore. We are really locking in on Paris, and we got to get back because the last Olympics did not go well. That was an embarrassment, just like the last World Cup was an embarrassment. So that's two tournaments in a row for what most people say is the most talented footballing women's nation. And, you know, it's time to get back to where we belong.
Sir, let's go. I gotta download Gypset Anthem. So whenever we talk about USWNT, I can play it.
I mean, I as far as like the Olympics go, like I'm not sure that it's punting on them. I think I will be interested to see like I think with Emma Hayes in the fold, you're not gonna get any more of these like farewell tour type friendly matches that like Carly Lord had a farewell tour. Alex Morgan's not getting no farewell tour. Like that's not happening for her. Like,
Are you scoring? No, but go.
mm,
I love it.
like, I mean, I don't even think that she's gonna score. Like, she's not even the best attacker on her club team currently. So, it will be interesting to see like all of the youth that is brought in. Like I could see a January camp where that there's actually 50 players that are actually brought into camp just because why not? Like I want to see I want to see eyes on everybody. So
Do we genuinely think that U.S. soccer is going to give her the free reign to do whatever she deems necessary to do to get us back to the heights that we've achieved as a women's footballing nation? Because there's a lot invested in the what I'm going to call the establishment, right? The certain faces that have been around for a while that have a certain look and whatever. There's a lot of investment in kind of that has built that up and kind of trying to sustain that. I think from my perspective and obviously from yours as well, if we had completely free reign and none of the in the past didn't matter, we would make some substantial changes. Do we think that she's going to be able to make those changes, or will there still be people behind the scenes kind of trying to pull strings?
well, you're really only able to make those marketing decisions when you're winning stuff, and when you're not
Fair
winning
enough.
stuff, you can't really do that. So, at this point, like it's just got to be more of a like, can you are can you make sure that you are bringing in the player that we need to win, win stuff, and that's not something that ha- has been going on in U.S. soccer for a long time, at least on the U.S. women's national team. Um, I am also encouraged by the fact that there's not a general manager. Like, essentially, Kate Margraf has not been replaced. So it sounds like, and that's the same for on the men's side as well. Like there is no long like Ernie Stewart was not replaced either. So it sounds like both coaches are going to be able to have both coaches under the federation are going to be able to have a little bit more free reign, which is clearly needed. I'm also encouraged by the fact that like this seems to be like a turning of the page. Was like we're gonna get rid of every like. I think the 99ers like their thoughts on what their team should look like had a lot of say, and like I think like I really do think that going down in the round of 16 was the women's equivalent of losing to Trinidad and Tobago in 2018 and not going to that World Cup. Um, like Taylor Twelman, what are we doing sort of thing. So I think that like you get the turning of the page from like the 99ers influence on USS soccer, like specifically, like, yes, I do know that Cindy Parlow-Cone is like the president of US soccer, but like she wasn't on that team, and she was in the aftermath of that team. Um, so it is good to see like that full turning of the page, and kind of putting that legacy as far as like moving into the front office for like talent evaluation, that sort of thing, to rest.
City men, we're gonna review this match against Bournemouth, baby. So we had Ederson in goal, Ake, Akanji, Stones, Walker, Rodri, Kovacic, Bernardo, Doku, Alvarez, and Hawan up top. Not a worry in the world about this match, like I said last week. Bournemouth have never beaten City after 18 tries. What did the starting 11 have put out? Say to you. Tarek, let's start with you.
Well, it's kind of, I saw all of this post the match because, again, during the match I was doing the basketball thing. So it's kind of hard for me to say what my initial reaction would have been because I already knew the result. I knew a lot of the stuff I was getting. I was seeing a lot of stuff in real time because, again, my show bros, as soon as stuff is happening, there's a lot of messages flying back and forth. And unless I actually turn my phone off, it's going to blow up. But I guess if I were to look at the lineup and just try to, there's the rotation, right? You see no Diaz, no Vardiol. You see, I guess there probably would have been a question. Maybe you see Stones in midfield or at the back, but without Diaz. So having Kovacic, could we actually be going to a true 4-2-3-1? Is it more 3-4-3? Whatever. But I think, again, knowing we have lots of matches coming up, I just looked at it as there's a option and potential for a couple people to get some rest. So yeah.
When I saw the lineup, I was excited to see Doku, and I was excited to see Ake and Akanji back fit. Because Akanji, I think Akanji missed it because of a
Yeah, he
car
got a
situation, something like that. He missed the match. Yeah, yeah. So that the red did it. So seeing him back on the pitch, seeing Ake back, because I will not forget what those two meant to the treble-winning side last season. We love new players. We love Vardiol. Oh my gosh, he's exciting. He's a Rolls Royce. But Ake was out here locking down. Name that right winger. He locked him down last year. And so just because, the new thing comes along, you can't forget about the old thing. And I can say the same thing up top for Doku and Grealish, right? Different players, different skill set, but you can't tell me Jack wasn't amazingly impactful in us winning the treble, right? Like he played a huge role. And so I think the best part of this club, if you look at it the right way, is that whatever 11 we put out on the pitch is the best side on the pitch. It's very rare unless we are punt, like Pep doesn't even punt matches. It's hard to say, like when we aren't the better side. And so I expected, I think in the pre-show, I called 5 because I just knew okay, this is the get right game. This is the get right match, get some goals up, and let's move on into November and have a perfect month. After we had Arsenal, we got off that, to end October. And so I was like, yeah, it's going to be a beautiful day.
I saw this lineup and was like, oh, we don't really respect them at all. We're just gonna throw as many bodies forward towards the goal as possible and probably score a lot of goals, even though they're gonna sit in. Like I think Charlie was the one that brought it up. Is like they're gonna you could call it 5 banks of 5 or 2 banks of 5 because that's exactly what they're gonna do. Like they're like all 11 players behind the ball. Which I know that we'll get into, was a little bit interesting to see that was not exactly how that they played, which was like kind of shocking. But yeah, I was like, they don't respect this team at all, and they expect to score a lot of goals in this match.
Yeah, and that was similarly my thoughts when the ball kicked off. City did start with possession, and they didn't really lose the ball much. If they did, they got it almost right back. Uh, what I will say, this is a side note, it has nothing to do with anything. Billing on that side, dude, is so trash. Every single time I watch their match, I watch them. There's so much like hype on them. There's all the stuff. He annoys me. He just is just like jogs around. He might have like a moment or two of like brilliance, but for the most part, he just makes a bunch of dumb decisions when he could make smarter, easier one. I don't know. Side note, tangent, quick tangent over. Yeah, we didn't really lose the ball until the fourth minute when Alvarez skied a shot on goal. There were a lot of those at the beginning of the match. But Bournemouth surprisingly high up the pitch. It wasn't really a press. It was more like a soft shell defense. They were just more blocking passing channels, trying to make the match as miserable as possible. Next thing you know, it's 10 minutes into the match. City looked comfortable, but yet there weren't any shots on goal. In the 14th minute, Alvarez tried to set up Rodri for a similar shot that he did in the CL final against Inter. This time, the ball putters into the arms of Bournemouth's keeper Radu. What I found interesting watching the match the second time around is, yes, we know Doku completely takes over the match. But in the flow of the match, it was gradual. Before Bournemouth knew what was happening, it was too late. It was like Doku had 4, maybe 5 touches in the first 20 minutes of the match. As brilliant as Doku was, because there's so much positive in this match, this is the one negative, especially in the second watch. Kovacic was off it. Like, there were just moments, it was just bad decisions, lazy tackles. And when I say lazy tackles, I had to like rub my eyes and double take because there were moments where I thought it was Cancelo off the pitch. It was like I now need to call it the Kova cool. So he has now taken over from Cancelo. It's just the way he just comes into tackles, it just leaves a lot to desire.
So on the Kova point, right? He's a he's like a classic, like mid. He's a center mid, like that's what he is. And you could see that the legs. He's getting older, and so because his legs aren't what they used to be, he's trying to do the same things, but his body's not moving as fast because he knows what to do, but he's not doing it quickly. And he has to like now go to the place where Gundo did, or if you watch Modric, like they know ahead of time, like, oh, I got to reposition myself because if not, I'm gonna get caught out, right? And I think his issue is that he gets too far ahead, and so when it's time to retreat, he doesn't have the pace. Now, we can say this as a very like honest critique of his play and not mischaracterize him. It's just like, hey,
he's shit.
Yeah.
Get him out of
And
here.
it's amazing how I know we can do both, but I didn't see any vitriol towards Kova in the first 30 minutes. But if that person would have been wearing number 4 and had a different grade of hair, I feel like the entire Man City Twitter, like, oh my gosh, how is Calvin doing this? Get him off the pitch. 50 million wasted. Blah, blah, blah. But when coaches does it, crickets. I don't know. I just thought it was a funny observation. Okay.
Yeah, there were multiple just fouls he did. There was a run where he, instead of just passing the ball into Holland, he ran into him. There was a short set piece where he allowed the dummy, but Alvarez didn't know that that's what the plan was, so it fizzled out. There was just, and again, he's not getting consistent play also. I'm sure there's just a lot going on in his head, and like I said, he's just getting too tight and going in for those tackles, and coming in late, and that would be old man legs. I feel it. I feel it as an old man. I feel it. Kalan had a slam dunk stopped by the top of Kelly's head in the goalpost. Alvarez, Doku, Kalan, Silva, Rodri all had shots at goal, well, in the goal's direction. Let's say that. Bournemouth's defense staying strong. City going back and forth with the ball after working the ball on the right, really, for a solid 90 seconds. Kyle Walker rifles in a cross, with the keeper punches away. Alvarez calmly takes the ball down, dribbling away from a wall of cherries before passing to Ake, who finds Doku in the left corner of the box with a one-on-one. Ake swings back to the left of Doku, forcing both Ake's and Doku's defender to make a decision. Doku cuts right inside, give and go with Rodri, while 5 defenders close in on the player. Doku accelerates to clip the ball around Zabrinri, closing in and around the keeper. Ooh, it was sexy. Hallelujah. Oh my gosh.
And the church said amen. And the
Amen.
church, in fact, said amen.
I paused the ball when Doku created contact when I did the rewatch. All of the Bournemouth players, there were legit 6 of them around. You can see them perfectly, crystal clear, just standing there. Doku is just a little fuzzball because he was moving so fast. And this is on HD. It was, just his brilliance. Pep said it. In 5 meters, he's the fastest. People compare him to Vinny. And sure, Vinny, he has a long burst, though. If you can stop him before he gets going, you might stand a chance. Daku's strength is in his ability to thrive on the mistakes of his defender. Let's not stay on this goal in Daku for long, considering there'll be 5 more chances to speak lovingly of our club and its players. Quick thoughts on this goal.
I think that the goal just showed how like technically gifted everyone on City is, like just to set the goal up. Just like when we were on Shirtless Plantains, when coach said the Johan Cruyff line, the hardest football to play is the most simple. But like it's very like it was very apparent by the entry pass into Rodri. Rodri's pass right back into Daku's path, and like Daku deciding to continue to make the run. It was just like everyone on the squad is like very, very technically gifted, and like I'm just blessed to cheer
And I
for
would
that.
just add that, like, you could tell what's being worked on the training pitch. Like these processes, that wasn't the first time that's happened. Like those players, like Ake knew when he needed to make the overlap. I saw it, so I knew he knew it, and he did it. Like you said, to force the defender to make a decision. Rodri knew a position to take up in the box. Doku knew, like, okay, if I keep going, if I don't just pass it and stay still, I can have a shot, a chance. And then it takes the bravery to shoot it, right? Like you may not make it, it may get deflected, it may go wide, but you got to take the shots. And so since that first half he came in against West Ham, right after that, like he's been aggressive every time he's on the pitch. You can never say like Doku is not taking a shot. He's not trying. He's not trying, but he's willing to make a mistake or to miss a shot. And that's the beauty of watching it. And I think that's just youth, right? When you're 21 and you just balling. Like you don't think, you just do. And you know what you're doing, but like you just say, hey, I'm gonna react, and I've been shooting the ball for the last 12 years of my life. I'm gonna shoot it now. And yeah, that was an excellent move.
Yeah, I liked, again, watching it back, I liked seeing the intricate interplay, the 1-2. Again, we all know what Doku can do in space 1-on-1. He's too quick, you can't stay in front of him. That's easy. But seeing him not just being direct, but now he's playing just those intricate passes, receiving in tight spaces, getting shots off. Again, it just goes to show just how good of a player, and you said it, how technically gifted every single player on our team is. And again, as someone who didn't know a lot about him coming into this season, seeing this part of his game is pretty impressive. Again, I've seen what he could do just being direct, but he can play, not just overpower you with his athleticism or his directness, but he can actually play with the ball and do things with it. So yeah,
Pep said it. He's always taking in information. He's growing constantly. It looks like he's put on some muscle since he's been at City, and the way that he's knocking people over, it looks like he has. I yeah, I just can't say the positive things about the man. But we're just gonna keep it going. And in fact, I'm just gonna go for goal. If anything outside of the goals you want to discuss, like the Oscar Bob sighting or Calvin Phillips, interrupt me whenever. 33rd minute goal. More madness from Doku and Silva. Holland earns a foul, uh, holding up the ball. You think something comes from that. They actually try to get the ball out quickly to Doku, but the ref shuts that down. Bournemouth are able to kind of get back, so City have to recycle the ball back. I'm almost positive before every single goal we scored, we had it was about two, maybe even three times where we would recycle the ball, and then the ball just shoots up, and that's all it is. You're just playing with them. You're waiting. You're biding your time. Whenever Bournemouth, and you could see it, they would just get too forward and too narrow, and there would just be like 6, 7 players up around the halfway circle, and a couple of passes Ake to Daku, you will now just pass all of those players, and you have a one-on-one. It was just beautiful to see. With 33rd minute, uh, the ball had to be recycled multiple times. Ederson finds Ake to Alvarez, who finds Daku in the middle of the pitch. Instead of him going left, he runs all the way to the right. He gives it another give and go with Walker. Daku gets the ball. You think he might go out of bounds. Nope. Cuts in, then dashes right, and then crosses left, leaving the defender spinning. You think he's about to score again? Nuh-uh. Kissed the ball with his left inside to Bernardo, who pulled a Messi according to Pep. Ball fizzes past the keeper limbs. After silence for 30 minutes, City were up 2 in the 35th minute. Craziest thing is, Flan has had nothing to do with either goal. Thoughts on the second? Yeah? I mean, yeah. It was because, 2 minutes later,
I
there's another
mean,
goal.
yeah, because the what I would say about the second goal is the same thing I would say about the first goal.
Yeah. And so 2 minutes later, Kanji jacks Daku's hard work. It's from a corner. It's actually back-to-back corners. They ran the same set piece. It was like Alvarez short to Kova to Bernardo. And this time, Bernardo running towards the goal. He stops and he spins around to lay the ball back to the hot foot Daku, who takes a touch. Stunning billing. Daku cuts left and just takes a shot. Who cares? The keeper is rooted when the ball bounced to the goal. Turns out the ball deflected off of Akanji's back. Daku's shot would have went well wide. It's Akanji's tookish. What his mama gave him gave City their third. I started rolling my cherry pack at that moment. 3 goals in 8 minutes. My scoring theory holds true, though. City not scoring before 20 minutes is a great thing for my 6-score line. Let's skip to halftime. City are up 3-0. They're home. Were you expecting Pep to set up shop? Champions League on Wednesday? Bigger fish to fry?
Now, for me, I was expecting. I had a change of thought. First, I was like, okay, we're gonna just keep it calm, keep it easy. The subs will come in, slow down the tempo, whatever. Then it hit me. I was like, wait, this is actually a competitive part of the season, and you have to make sure that you start to push that goal differential. Even if nobody can catch you, it has to be. It's daunting to look at the table and you have a higher goal differential than everyone else by 5 or 6 goals. So I was like, oh, we have more goals in this game. Didn't know who was going to score them at half, but I was like, we're going to get 4 or 5 overall.
It's great when you can just be around like-minded people, because that was my same exact thought. It was like, oh, this is a chance, this is one of the lower sides of the table. We have a chance to really hammer that goal difference home, and we need to do that in this specific match.
Yeah, that was the same thing. We had just talked about it either last episode or on Thursday or whenever we last talked, I guess. I don't know. But we were talking about how I think Arsenal were ahead of us, not because of anything other than they had just scored more goals than us. And so, we haven't had one of those just big time blowout type games yet this season. So we were always due for one. And I think it was important to get as many goals as we could, increase goal differential, but then also just take away any and all tiebreakers if it ever comes down to that.
And I didn't even think about just goal difference. I'm just a greedy son of a bitch, and I was playing 6. Before getting to the 4th goal, Halan was subbed off in the 46th minute. Pep said it was only an ankle sprain. Wouldn't surprise me if he just doesn't start against your boys on Wednesday. Bournemouth came out pressing, and the defense got too high and narrow again. And then ball gets to Foden, who does his little spin inside. Ooh, once again finding Doku with a one-on-one. Food. Finds a streaking Foden. He easily dribbles around 3 defenders, yeeting the ball into the goal. Seems his teammates are starting to understand what to do when Doku's dancing at defenders. Phil is back, looking like himself again. Stockport's own. Thoughts on this goal?
I thought that like once Holland came out, like I don't know what, and like it's not that like Holland doesn't like um is not also like a fast player, but like I just thought that like City knew that they were going to have to like play faster without like that physical presence, and so like you kind of saw that more in the second half without Holland being up top. Um, so it was just like, oh, like this is the F1 portion of the season, like because like like they, that's what that goal like reminded me of in a way.
I think when I saw that goal, the the unselfishness of somebody who's contributed to 3 goals in the first half to lay it off. Like you have every reason to take the shot. Like again, nobody's upset if you get in that position. You're already up 3-0. They did. Why not? But no, I know my guy is coming, and he just got on the pitch. He didn't start last match. Like he started last match. Like I know I want to keep it going, and so that to me that skilled and that unselfish. I might say something that's a little aggressive right now, but I think Doku is being now that he's starting to play. His impact is probably the greatest of a first season winger under Pep, and I don't think that's an exaggeration because what we've normally seen from that position is the wingers take time. Jack, Riyad, I mean Sane kind of kicked on, but not like this, right? This is a different level, and so I am just very appreciative of what he does. Like I'm literally gonna buy his 3rd shirt. I don't buy players shirts in their first season. Like I'm getting a Doku 3rd kit for Christmas. Like the man is him, and I think I literally put that picture up on Instagram after because I was like, yo, he's different, and yeah, I've never seen somebody like this in a City shirt.
Oh, man. Yeah. He's the joy. The moment it was announced, I knew what he was going to bring. I just wasn't, expecting the output to be so immediate and for it to be just as fucking beautiful as it is. Like just watching him on the ball, I posted it. It feels like I'm watching jazz because he's just dribbling, and part of me is just like, does he know what he's doing? But even if he doesn't, it still is with confidence, where it doesn't matter if it's purposeful because what comes of it is 4 assists and a goal. So I just love the man. Like 21, it's beautiful. And Bournemouth's goal on City in the 74th minute. Uh, well, that it annoyed me because you know it's one of those things. Well, is two because it was both Doku and Ake both just kind of like turned off, and I get it. They played great. It's been a long match. You didn't expect anything to come from it, so good on Bournemouth for taking advantage of the situation. But it annoys me methinks I need to accept that clean sheets are only expected in big games. Because I can't no more. I just need to automatically just say we're going to give up a goal unless it's like Champions League knockouts or a cup knockout.
But
Reframe,
yeah.
reframe, or United is just so poor at the sport of football that they cannot score against us, whereas Bournemouth can score against us.
You know, people are just in general are scoring one. It's just one. Well, it's not really actually. It's not really one because we've given up 3 goals all season. I'm being ridiculous. 3 goals all season. It's not that bad.
Wait, 3?
Okay, if I'm gonna get
But because I think it's
No, it's
3
like 8.
in the
mm,
Premier
It's
League.
8.
Oh, it is
Yeah, it's
8.
still it's the
Oh
best.
yeah,
It's the
see, that's
best
too
record.
much.
It's the 8 and
Yes,
11 is
8.
not
Yes,
too much. Yo, you can't get wild.
that's awful. Yes, three matches without. Yeah, that's awful. Like what? I should. It's starting to become painful. That's what I'm saying. It's like traumatic. I'm
okay, here's the deal.
trying to just forget about it.
If you're gonna take like more than half of your midfield off of the pitch, like at once, which is what happened after Phil scored that goal. Calvin Phillips and
Nunes.
Rico came in,
Enrico,
which
yeah.
and
Rico and Nunez.
so basically you replace your whole midfield. Yeah, it's gonna
Mhm.
take like that might be that I'm gonna put that one on Pep because like you replaced your entire midfield and like in the first 5 minutes they're gonna need some time to like kind of feel out the game and like get accustomed to it. Whereas like if you kind of take them out piecemeal, like um you have more like this player can like get you up to speed on like, hey, this is kind of how the game is moving. Like this is where you need to be stepping, where you need to be for
No,
that.
well, it's
So
funny you
like in the
saying
first, so
that.
like that, so to let up a goal in the first 5 minutes of your entire midfield being replaced, yeah, that doesn't shock me.
That's specifically why Pep says he doesn't make
But
subs like too
I
much.
think sometimes, like I saw, like the homie Laura Lass on Twitter, like I'm gonna call it an overreaction to the goal because of how it happened, right? Like it took a perfect ball from the defender to find Max Aarons on the right wing. He was pushed up right back, got all the way on the right wing, and Louis Sinisterra, who just came on for Bournemouth, he's just hungry. He's sprinting down the middle, like it was and they all hit, both passes were perfect. So it's not even like, and I think people want to blame, like you can't blame individuals there, like as much as like Bournemouth just
No.
had a really great moment. However, I did have like a slightly racist interaction based on this situation, because
Oh yeah. Oh
I
boy.
had tweeted out like
And it's a
we had
kid.
saw the people coming in. I was like, "Yo, Pep's putting out the blackest lineup possible with these next subs. Less favorites today. Subs are made." And I literally tweet out Doku, Phillips, Walker, Ake, Akanji, Lewis, Edison, like incredible. And Bob hadn't even come on yet, right? Like so that was later, but those 7 were on the pitch together. And then the guy replied to me. I blocked him. Now I was like, "Well, then that's probably why they gave up a goal." You think only black people give up goals? Like what the hell are we doing, bro? Like it was so crazy. And I think the homie Brad like got in on like, what are you talking about, my guy?
Would that also be why we
And of
scored
course he's blocked
6?
now.
I mean, that is, so
Yeah,
do
cause
you give
yeah,
credit as well as blame, or is it just the blame? And again,
that's exactly what
nobody
I
is
said.
again. That is just a stupid conversation to have, and you know, this is again why I don't. Social media is stupid, but well, people on social media are stupid, but yeah, it's just a stupid conversation to have.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I was laughing the whole time reading. I'm like, but then when we scored the 5th, as Crunk's gonna get to, I was like, wait, you got to require my guy. Like you don't want to give credit to these black to the players? Oh, okay, they didn't matter. Okay, cool.
So Bernardo's
This was the messy goal.
85th goal. Yes. So yes, that's what. Sorry. Bernardo's 83rd minute goal. Tarek, if you want to cue something up while I prepare this. So the 83rd minute goal, it was created by like, okay, what I actually love most about this goal, it was just a whole bunch of nonsense because it had almost been like 20 minutes before the actual goal or the previous goal. And I was just kind of getting very bored in that moment. And I do remember being very bored in that moment. And then all of a sudden, Doki gets the ball and just bang! Just the pass he makes across the pitch, all the way up to a gliding Bernardo. I actually love the way Bernardo runs. I don't know. It's just a very fun style. All right. The move Bernardo hit on the dude because it was like a stammer shoulder dummy. Like, oh, I loved it. The chip over the keeper to make it 5-1.
I got flies on it.
Oh, love it, baby.
Man, Tarek, I saw you working hard on that production, and I appreciate you because whew,
I
you was
want
working hard
I
on
want to
that one.
narrate for the people that don't see this. I hope Crunk you clip it because Crunk gives the leeway. He says, "Hey, I'm letting you know, Terry. I need you to cue this up." Terry slides back. I'm gonna give a Crunk rundown. He goes to his drawer. He takes it out of the top drawer. I see a dongle or something. He gets the tablet. He plugs it in. He cues it up. Crunk fills, and then like the execution. That's that Raji Doku give and go right there. Like that's what we just saw in like podcast form. It was beautiful to watch. Great job, guys. Great play. Great interplay.
Just
Technical brilliance.
It was a layup. It was a alley oop from Crunk for me. It was easy. Going into it, when I saw as I was sitting in the stands watching varsity play, and I see we got 5. So I'm like super excited. I'm like, oh, I got, and I think you shot me out. It's like, I got 5 on it. It was so cool. And then I see, we keep going. So I was just like, I got to make sure I remember this for tomorrow. And I forgot. So I'm glad you gave me a little bit of time to kind of scramble. And this is why I keep it in the same spot all the time. So I know exactly where to go. I don't have to try to search over on my desk. Where is it? To pull it
That's
out.
muscle memory. That's
Ready to go real
training
quick.
ground exercise. Like you know the patterns. Like you're just ready for that play, and it's just instinctual. Like iconic performance. Crunk, you ready for yours now? Are you ready for yours?
Oh, always, baby. So what I do love most about Bernardo's goal is he scores the goal and then Pep immediately pulls him. Like he's celebrating and then all of a sudden he's clapping, getting walked off. The crowd is able to show him love. I love that. And then our current GOAT is replaced by hopefully a future young GOAT, Oscar Bob, the young phenom. Etihad crowd was chanting for his 6th goal. Tarek, he got his 5, but you know me, like I said, I'm greedy. I needed that 6th. Oscar Bob receives a tasty pass from Nunez, crosses the ball across goal for a flying Ake, giving us, let's go! We here. Oh my gosh, 6-1. It's joy. The match, it's done. It's great. It's fantastic. We couldn't, uh, yeah, all of the joy and all the talk about the match, that goofy goof trying to hate on us. All I can say is that match made me so proud.
And I'm black, y'all. And I'm black, y'all. And I'm black and black and I'm black, y'all.
Doku again. What was it? 4 goals and
One,
4
one,
assists in a match. That was yeah, and that was some sort of record for like a first year player or something like that.
Yeah, so he's the youngest player to ever get 4 goals in a Premier League. 4 assists in a Premier League game at 21 in like 100 something days. First to do it since Pogba did it a few seasons ago. Funny note, out of all the people that have gotten 4 assist matches, like 4 of them have played for Arsenal. It was like 4 from Arsenal, 2 from Spurs, or 1 from Spurs, and then Pogba,
Winger
yeah,
ball.
and now us, and now Daku. He also was like, there's some other stat. It was just like Opta was having a field day with everything he did because Daku. If there's a man in a match performance, like that's the definition. And I think some people gave him like 10 out of 10. Yeah, youngest player to be directly involved in 5 goals in a PL game. 21 years.
Yeah, I'll say
Yeah,
5 goal contributions.
161 days. Insane.
Oh, brilliance. Yes. It just, how can you not be proud? How can you not be happy? And just all of, yeah, I'm just imagining all these new black and brown City fans that are joining because they're going to be on like TikTok or whatever, and this photo of this dude, this footballer hitting the gritty. And they're just like, wait, what is this? And then they're looking up videos of him, and I don't know. It just brings me up because it reminds me of when I first saw City and I saw like Sean Wright Phillips and company and all of those people. That's what drew me to the club, and I can now see the same thing happening. It's fucking fantastic. I love it so much. I do have this clip of Pep because everybody was just Doku praises, 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 and Pep is going to find a way to kind of level you a little bit, to ground you a little bit.
But now we have to try to convince him he can do it in the right side. His next step, the same in the left perform, no doubt, has to do in right. And the second half in Switzerland against the young boys in right side, he played really good too. And his step, he has to do it because for us it's so important.
And Pep tried to start him off on the right. He obviously is significantly more comfortable on the left. But one of the goal contributions he had was on the right. He can get there. That's a first step. It's very much like get Haran the penalty kicks to get him in the goal scoring mindset. Now that he's been able to help and create on the right side, you would think that he can play on the right. That will also set up more playing time for Grealish.
I think it's very interesting though for that reason you said his name Grealish, right? Like Pep has not tried to adapt Grealish's game in that way of like making him a both sided winger. Like he knows he's left. I think literally because he's older. Like he's done it for so long. It's like why teach this old dog new tricks, right? But you give me a 21-year-old, I can now mold your game. Look at Phil Foden. Phil can play literally every position on the pitch in the front six because he's done it all. And Pep's taking the time to clearly teach him how to do different positions. And Bernardo does it, right? So, like, he sees that, okay, like, I can get you now. Imagine what you can be at 23. You're 21 and 100 now, 62 days. You give me a whole season with you, God, who knows what's going to happen next year? Like, it's actually kind of scary. And knowing that we got Pep for at least another until 2025, man, God, good luck, everybody else. Like, I don't know what to tell you, bro.
I think before you move on, I think the key is because again, I think when we asked a question a couple episodes back, what advice would you give to Daku? And I think I said something along the lines of, just keep playing or keep stay who you are, or something like that. Keep playing the way that you play, that attacking style, and it feels like Pep is not going to try and pull those reins back at all and just going to let him run free and be
Just on
free.
social media.
And I love that for him because I don't want to see, him. I don't want to see him have to start thinking too much. Right. I know he can play the intricate style because he showed it on that, through the course of this game. But I just want him to be free to go at players, create, be his destructive best. And I think for a lot of people, it feels like Pep has kind of put a little bit of constraints around Jack and kind of pulled him back a little bit as far as how free he can just, roam the pitch. As opposed to say where he was when he was at Villa, whatever, there's different expectations. And so I really hope to see Daku still have that joy that you see when he's playing right now, when he's just being able to just go at players and do his thing. I just love that for him.
The reason why I believe it's not going anywhere is because it's successful. I think maybe if it wasn't doing well, because he needed to give Grealish some structure because he was losing the ball a lot and there was some struggles early on. Daku is just, and I mean, I don't want to say not thinking so much because, especially at the beginning of the matches, you can kind of see it because he'll like look where he is, and all of a sudden he'll move himself wider, or he'll look, and he's he's making the right adjustments. I just think that he's a baller. And it's just like Mahrez. Like, you're gonna score. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, maybe I'm not going to try to control you to the certain levels of certain players, but I'm going to give you a. I want you to do this first. If this doesn't work, I want you to then do this. If this doesn't work, then I want you to do this. And I think from there, maybe that's where Pep might start building onto it the first. But right now, A and B works for him. If he can't beat the person, pass the ball. That's working brilliant right now. There really is no need to add on anymore. And he's starting to get back, track back, and defend. That's also like very important part of the defense. Yeah, he's great. Yo, yo, all right, let's kick some of your boys' tail on our way to a. Oh no, hold on. Why did I write it down? I actually had a brilliant name for what I was gonna call this new team that wouldn't upset people, and it wasn't lame ass 4P. I hate 4P. It's just stupid. Sounds like I don't know. I'm gonna hopefully my brain can remember it. Anyway, let's do this quickly. Is there any chance we're gonna beat the? I mean, the your boys are gonna beat us. We're home, right? Like, what? This is gonna be slight work. Score predictions.
I got a Rico brace.
Oh,
Yeah,
I like that.
because he's gonna start in this match. So, got a Rico brace.
Do you think he's going to start in midfield?
Yes, I do.
Him and Calvin.
Probably,
I think Holland
and
rests.
probably Nunes.
Yeah, I got Holland resting just for caution because we got Chelsea on Sunday at Stamford Bridge, so that's the more important match or the one that will be more difficult. Um, Shout out to Chelsea though. Hope y'all beat Spurs or at least make them draw. Like I want
Facts.
you to do well,
Yeah,
Chelsea,
man.
this week. Cole Palmer, Rehab. Hope
Yes.
you guys get a brace for Sterling and Palmer. But I'm gonna go with 4-1. We normally score 3 or more at home. We won't be playing on artificial pitch again, so that will always help. Yeah, I wonder if we get to see Ortega. Like, I wonder how much rotation he does, because you don't want to be disrespectful to
No.
young boys, but also like Ortega needs starts, especially without the Carabao Cup, right? And so I could see 5 more changes from the lineup that went out and killed Bournemouth.
I definitely think there's going to be a lot of rotation. I think you see. I definitely think Rico starts. I'll be interested to see if Oscar Bob can get a start since he had his little cameo to kind of give him a boost into this coming match on Tuesday. Uh, of course, hope to see Calvin. We'll probably see Sergio Gomez. And I think you got to give Nunez some run in midfield as well. But definitely heavy rotation. I'm gonna go 3-0 City.
Ooh, a nail. You go with all those changes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they hit us for one. We're at
Yeah.
home. Like, always, this the Etihad, man. We'll definitely get the win, but I'm gonna go 3-0.
I got 4-1. 4-1 City.
Yeah. 3-1 here. Match against Chelsea again. We'll be doing a watch along with that. I am not worried about this match at all. I think this Tottenham match, especially if they end up winning, that will be kind of where they will expend all of their energy and blow the proverbial load. excuse my French, and just be exhausted by the time they come and face the troublemakers, the 3-0 City.
Before we get out, because I know everybody head out, I just want to give a quick shout out to Gotham FC. They just scored in the 107th minute of the NWSL semifinal.
Oh,
Katie Stengel, assisted by Christy Mewis. So they still got about another 13 minutes plus stoppage time, but they might be able to set up half of the ultimate retirement championship match. We have Ali Krieger for Gotham, possibly playing Megan Rapinoe if they go on and beat San Diego Wave. So that's pretty dope. NWSL coming after you.
do you want to give your score prediction for that match
Ooh.
against Chelsea?
2-0. Feels right. A dominant 2-0.
You said City dominate over Chelsea for 2-0? Is that what you said? Okay.
I mean, I said 3-0.
I got 3-1, and I think either Cole or Raheem scores.
Yeah, of course, I always talk about former players, and so this is a chance for Sterling and Cole Palmer, particularly Cole, because it'll be the first time he's gotten a chance to play against us, as far as I can recall in my head, at least. So it'll be interesting to see what he does, how he responds. But I think it will be. You got a good point about it being they got the Monday match, and so it's kind of a midweek match for them. But I'm gonna go City 2, Chelsea 1, 2-1. I think it'll be close. I hope I'm wrong.
If Cole Palmer scores, does he hit the gritty?
No,
he's gonna be very
I mean,
nice.
Jermaine might. Who
kind of
knows?
like a quick little
Jermaine might
wave.
turn.
He'll just hold his hands out and be like, "Nope, I'm not gonna celebrate.
Right,
I'm not gonna
just
celebrate."
tell everybody no, back off, and just walk to the other half. Yeah, I don't.
He won't score. It's okay.
But if he does, I won't. Don't even have to worry about it. That's hilarious.
Is Lavia healthy yet? He's not.
Nah,
he's
he's
still
not
not healthy,
playing.
is he? I didn't think so. Okay.
Man. We are that's Man City South, I guess. So
Facts. I forgot they have Lavia also.
I mean, them and Arsenal, we pretty much
we're so
just
kind.
spreading our seed all across.
Yeah, we take care of red,
London.
we take care of blue. We're out here like that picture where you get the blood and the crypt hanging out. Like we just help everybody together. That's what we are. Bringing
Charlie, please.
I mean, I have that meme I have that saved in my memes that I've been waiting to use it for something.
Yeah. We love City's players.
I was trying to
Arsenal together.
Oh
God. Well, men are back at it after this week. International break. Goodness gracious. We'll quickly go through Chakal's Premier League applause. Man City's first, Tottenham in second. Who could take first, pending the result of the match against Chelsea tomorrow. We're recording on Sunday evening. Liverpool almost got beat by Luton Town. Arsenal slipping further down after the loss of Newcastle. Aston Villa got caught with their pants down against Nottingham. They're in fifth. Newcastle sixth. Bruno G got lucky. And Arteta's meltdown brought a huge smile to my face. Shout out to the Oil family. And seventh is Brighton, holding on for dear life. They're tied with United, but United they're behind 8 in goal difference. Relegation station. The same 4 teams this whole season. They're fighting each other. They're trying to not break Derby's record of 11 points earned the entire 2007-8 season. Luton Town and Bournemouth both have 6 points. Burnley and Sheffield have 4. West Ham, they're on a 3-match losing streak. Brentford, they're on a 3-match winning streak. And a dumb moment from Fulham ruined the joy I could have had from another Manchester United loss. What say you, Show Bros? What's your shock off in Premier League applause?
I'm gonna go real quick. I'm just gonna say Luton Town being up 1-0 for so long on Liverpool was crazy. And even just getting a point off Liverpool, like that's a massive point for them. So shout out to the new Kenilworth Road. And also, I mean, in the same way, like my applause goes to Louis Diaz. who's dealt with the most traumatic experience possible with
Yes.
parents being kidnapped, still doesn't have his father back. Mom has been returned to safety. Father is still captive. He wore up a shirt that said "Liberty, Liberty for Dad, Libertad por Papa, para Papa." So wishing him and his family the best. I can't imagine going to work. I can't imagine like doing my job in that situation. So him going out to a whole different
Right.
country, playing football, scoring a goal that his team needed. Just that was beautiful all around. So truly a draw for a beautiful draw for both sides.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely agree with that shout out on Luis Diaz. Uh, I also had the Luton getting a draw against Liverpool. Of course, you want to see them get all 3 points, but I'm sure if you would have asked them coming into that match if they would have taken a point, they would have said yes every day, every chance they would have gotten. And if you would have asked me, I would have taken that result because again, that means more drop points for Liverpool. So yeah, that was my shock on applause. But I'll also call out Newcastle with the win over Arsenal because again, I'm always good to see. Which is this sucks because he was with City, but um, anytime I can see Arteta just continue to melt down, I'm all for it. So I'm not just that they lost, but that they lost in the controversial fashion, which is making him just completely lose his mind. The club putting out statements, they're just all just losing it over there, and it's just a matter of time before they fall away because you can't keep up that mindset the entire season. So long may it continue. Those are my two shock calls on the plot.
I got uh the Hammers. Like what the hell happened to, like I
Yeah.
really thought that that they were gonna beat Brentford, and so like when you said that stat about like them winning three straight, West Ham losing three straight, it's like, oh yeah, they just met each other at the right time, apparently. And then I was also gonna give out a there was a WSL result that like really fucked with me today. Uh,
Seven Chelsea put on Aston Villa.
no, it wasn't that. Oh, it was Bristol City getting their first win. So it's both in both instances. What the fuck are the Hammers doing? um, yeah. And it looks like they lost in the same fashion too. Like they both, got out to an early lead and then just like conceded. So, um, yeah, it's like it looks like the entire club of West Ham needs to kind of get their house in order.
Well, tap in this Thursday to our lit stream starting at 7 p.m. Central Time, streaming live on FanFest Live. Shout out to the FFL Familia. Most dope guests are Saul from Bitter and Blue Sky, our United homie, kicked it with us during the Manchester Derby watch along, and a most dope member of Shady Gang, Brad Baker. Speaking of FanFest Live, Sunday, November 12th, both our City Men and our Baby Blue Baddies have a match, being double duties for our kickoff shows. City Women play early against Brighton. We will be going 30 minutes before kickoff. A few hours later is men's watch along for Chelsea. Tap in with us. All that info is in the episode's description. Follow our social media, all of those things. It's in the show descriptions. Patreon. Check that stuff out. It's a good time. Get our shows episodes earlier. I got some fun interviews coming up that will be Patreon only. Good vibes. $6 can get you plenty of extra content, early content, and help your favorite footy show. Talking about Tarek, Sharpie. How can people follow you, find you, social medias, all those things?
If there's a social media platform and I'm on it, you can find me at TomBomb816. THOMBOMB 816.
Hit me up on Twitter.com, aka X, in the App Store at Sharpie Charlie.
9 out of 10 dentists say that you should not use social media. I don't know if that's a real stat or not, but if you do decide to use it, regardless of those 9 or 10 dentists, you can find me at on Twitter at Tarek Peterson, at Tarek Peterson, TarikPeterson. Or I suppose you can find me on Threads. I'll say the other thing. Threads at TK Peterson 12.
Okay, I'm on Blue Sky, CrunkChocolate Blue Sky on Twitter. X I am at CrunkPhoenix. Follow the show on Threads, on TikTok, on Instagram, on X, on all those things. Shades of Blue Pod. You know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang.
Our vibe.